One of the best time-saving features of EverWeb is secondary clicking. This macOS feature is often known as right-click, but actually Apple mice don't have a right mouse button, so secondary clicking is in fact the equivalent of the traditional right mouse click. You can secondary click in a number of different ways, depending on how your macOS system is set up in System Preferences. For example, if you use a trackpad, you can either use a two-finger tap on the trackpad or use the bottom left or bottom right corner of the trackpad. If you have an Apple Magic Mouse, all you need to do is press the right side of the mouse, or again use a two-finger tap. Lastly, you can use a mouse or trackpad in combination with the keyboard by holding down the Control key whilst clicking the mouse or doing a one-finger tap on the trackpad. Secondary clicking is used to get to specific options that are not otherwise available. Most features of EverWeb can be accessed through the menu or from the inspector window, but some features are only available through secondary clicking. Secondary clicking is also just quicker and easier to access. Here are some great uses for secondary clicking. First, in the web page list, you can add a new master page or regular page by secondary clicking in the empty blue or grey space in the web page list. If you secondary click on a page that already exists, you may get more options, such as deleting or duplicating the page, or converting a regular page into a directory page. This menu is also where you can remove the Find Use Assets highlight if you've previously searched for specific assets on pages in your website project. There are also context-sensitive options if you click on the name of the project file itself. Now let's see what you can do in the editor window. If you secondary click in an empty space in the editor window, you'll see a list of options that are available that are sensitive to the context that you're in. Next, secondary click on an object such as a text box, shape, image, or media file. You'll see a bigger list of options available. You have options such as bring to front, send to back, bring forwards, and send backwards. These options change the stacking order of the objects on the page. Use the Pick Layer option if you have any problems in selecting an object that may be fully or partially obscured by another object. Now let's look to see what you can do in the Assets list. If you hover over an asset and right-click, you can delete the asset that's underneath the mouse pointer. Now, if you select the asset and then secondary click, you'll get more options that are specific to the asset. This includes path and relative path options that are useful for anyone who codes with EverWeb. Here, you'll also find the Find Pages Using Asset option. Clicking on this will highlight all the pages using the asset that you've selected in the web page list. If you remember earlier, we secondary clicked on a page in the web page list to remove the asset found on Page Highlighter. If you have created your own blog in EverWeb, you can also use secondary click here as well. In the blog posts list, right-click will bring up a list of options such as New Post, Rename, Delete, and there's even a duplicate option so that you can make a copy of an existing post if you need to. Finally, in the blog post preview window, you have the same secondary click options as you'd find in the regular editor window.